I could tell from it, I remember we had some rules at your review and I was facilitating it, so I told them what the rules were. And the first rule was that no one is allowed to have wee conversations between themselves because it was really important. This was your meeting and you had to hear absolutely everything that was going on, didn't you?
Yeah.
And the other thing was that the meeting had all these bits of paper around the wall, and we said that was the minutes of the meeting.
Yeah.
So what did we tell whoever got a pen and paper? What were we going to tell them?
I said, no,
Get that bit of paper
get
down.
up, paper down.
Oh, it was really funny. And then everybody really paid attention and we started talking about the things that you'd planned before we even got there. Well, I was initially involved with the social worker who asked me to come along because it was a process area review that she hadn't been familiar with as a person-centred approach to this process. There was a lot of planning involved in the preparing work of that, so we did what we call a circle of support, where in a relationship circle where Stacey was able to identify all the important people in her life. And quite often with people, it's not how often you see someone that makes them important, it's the relationship you have with them. I think that there's a kind of a wide difference between that traditional review process that professionals grow up with, and I could say maybe even now there's loads and loads of people that I know that have had experience doing reviews, but it's something that they're wary of or something that they're worried about or they fret about before it happened, and quite often quite rightly, because they can be about focusing on a problem and how to fix it, and the person's only participation is being there, hearing about other people and professionals and in big titles talking about them. I'm not saying they're all like that, but in a traditional sense, that can be something that people remember and think about as reviews. This process for Stacey was something, the complete polar opposite of that. There was a lot of preparation in terms of what it is she wanted to say. We did a lot of work in terms of kind of describing the background of it, so pictures up and papers up on the wall, what's important to Stacey, what's important now, what's important in the future, what's working well, what's not working well, what does success look like. From that conversation we started to pick up not just who is important and why, but the things that were important to Stacey. So we did a lot of preparatory work in terms of what a perfect week would look like, and that was fantastic because it identified things that she maybe hadn't mentioned before.
I feel more involved in what I used to be when I left before.
And what you get from that process is what's different for Stacey as an individual, because quite often you think people like the same things, and Stacey was quite clearly saying, I'm not a telly person. I don't want to be stuck in front of a telly and that's me entertained. When I'm looking for a support team, I'm looking for a support team that can engage me in a conversation, that like the things I like, that aren't going to be, right, here you go, let's do this and then I'll leave you and you can have your own time. She was very much an interactive person, so she was looking in terms of staff team, really bubbly people that would engage with her, that weren't the type of person who sat back. What's going to be different now when you move into your new house?
I don't have to get up. I time I get up here because I feel my day is wasted when I get up here. But I'll be wasted when I get home again. So.
And you'll be looking forward to late nights?
Yeah. Late nights.
Something else you were looking forward to as well, that all young women enjoy doing?
Holidays.
Yeah. And a bit of dancing?
Yeah.
I remember that because you like a party, don't you? Yeah. No much time to party if you've got to go to bed early.
Yeah.
So what did you think of your meeting in your house with all your family there? Great. There was a bit at the end where everybody said what they thought about their time with you at your meeting. Do you remember the nice things people said?
No.
No? Oh, I remember it well. The woman from Sea Change, I remember she said she knew.
She comes again.
She got to know you really, really well. And I mean, in terms of the time of the review, we say that it takes 2 hours. the first half of the review is about gathering all that information, and the second half of the review is about, as a team, deciding what we're going to plan and what we're going to develop in terms of outcomes and actions for the individual. The process in itself, the social worker in that situation found it maybe about half an hour more, but it was a half an hour well worth it, and the whole focus was on Stacey. So I think, you know, the feedback at the end, and we always do that kind of appreciation at the end of what did you get in your time, and everyone was saying, well, what I got in that time was time well spent. I know more about Stacey now than I've known in the last 2 years, in those 2 hours, so I think it's been really well worth it. What did you think of that review compared to the old ones that you used to go to?
Better.
Better? What were the old ones like?
They were all speaking about me.
Were they?
And things like that.
Were you able to join in? No. No. So what was the difference between that one and that one that you had in your house?
A lot easier.
A lot easier? You feel it was better? Or?
Better.
What way?
Because you could speak to people and they listen to you.
Aye.
Good to get control your own life, you know. I felt I didn't have the control in my life before, but I do now.
Good. That's what it's all about, eh?
So this journey has been very good to let me know people, get to know people, and find out what I could do for myself.
But one of the things that I found was really interesting was that when it was all done and dusted, and when we heard Stacey's voice, the social worker was very much saying, this is actually like getting back to traditional social work values. It's getting back to how I was trained, and somewhere along the line, that focus hasn't been there as much as it should be. And I think with this person-centred review, it's really good. It's kind of turning all that in its head. So it was really positive in terms of what the social work got out of it as well. What are you most looking forward to in your new house?
Getting to know myself better.
Building that relationship with them. And then once you've got that relationship with them, what are you looking forward to in your own house?
Going to Holland.
Yeah. Good.